Hello guys, welcome to Major's Garage. This is Suellio. I'm crew chief for the Formula 1, Formula 3 and Formula 3.5. We're gonna see our lap here at Nurburgring with the Formula 3.5. So the lap time is 1:41.5. Let's go straight away to the first corner. So the first thing that I really pay attention to here before braking is that the corner itself starts, the straight line actually, before the corner we have a slight kink to the right, and that can really make our braking more difficult. So what I really want to do here is to put the car very close to the white line here and then try to align the car to the curb white line, which is here, and then I want to really brake on a straight line following this entire white line here. So we need to be aware of that initially if we want to have an optimal braking zone. So as you can see, I'm really sticking to it and kind of preparing the car to be in a straight line before I even start braking. And then when I start braking, you can really see how I try to just maintain the car on a perfect straight line here for optimal brake performance. And then I'm starting to turn slightly later than most people. I think it's very easy to try to turn a little bit too early here, but you definitely want to have a better exit. So you try to make a lot of the rotation here in this first half. So whenever you get on the apex itself, your car is already more facing the right than the left. So as you can see, that's exactly what's happening with my car here. And then whenever I start getting back on the throttle, I'm already pointed a lot to the right, so I don't need to keep rotating the car and I can worry more about getting the power down. As you can see, I'm actually not using the apex here because there's a kind of a falling here. As you can see, the track falls a lot, and even not using the apex, you can see how my inside front tire is actually flying. So that would be even worse if we had our car really close to the curb here. So that's why I'm taking a wider line here to prevent the car from bouncing the front here. Whenever that happens, if you put the power down at the same time, the car spins almost immediately, so be careful with that. Then I'm bringing the car as early as possible to this area here, and I try to kind of be parallel to this line quite early. So then I start worrying about really bringing my car to this wide corner. This corner is really difficult because it's slightly off camber, so you have much less grip than you expect, and the car tends to really understeer a lot here. So that's really important. And also pay attention to my throttle trace, how I release the throttle very progressively and not completely. You can release completely. I was feeling like maintaining a little bit of speed here, so I was keeping a little bit, but in other situations I was actually releasing a little bit more to make the car rotate. But I was satisfied with how much the car rotated here, so I just kept a little bit of rotation, a little bit of throttle. Then we get back on the throttle. We can use a little bit of the green. As you can see, I did not get enough track here, and as you can see, the middle of the car is still inside the black and red, white and red curb. So because of that, I'm not getting enough track. I would get enough track if I put the middle of the car on the green area here. So pay attention to that. And then I want to really brake when my car is completely over the asphalt and not at the curb. As you can see, I'm pretty much starting to brake still on the curb, but my maximum pressure is when I'm completely inside the track. That's because we have slightly less grip on the curb, and if you start braking with one tire, if you brake hard with one tire on the curb, you lock the fronts very easily, so we have to pay attention to that. And also we want to be turning very slowly to this very slow corner here. As you can see, I'm trying to maintain the inside tires over this almost grass here. We only get enough track again if we put the middle of the car over the curb to the inside. Then you can see that I really try to bring my car to the left here. I don't really bring it I don't get early in the throttle in a way that the car really goes a lot to the right here. I want to prepare the right-hander, so I'm trying to maintain the car over to the left-hand side here. And also you see how I'm really patient with the throttle here. All this area, we're really patient with the throttle. And again, here we get enough track if we put the middle of the car over to the left of this drain here. So as you can see, I'm actually slightly safe here of not getting enough track. And also here, if we put the outside tires on this green area, we get enough track. Here it's a little bit more strict. Then coming to this area here, it may feel like we need to brake hard, but as you can see, I'm not braking that hard. I'm braking a little bit and then thrusting a lot on the downforce and really turning the car at high speed. But then I want to keep my car a little bit to the left here. You can see that I don't let my car go all the way to the right here because I want to prepare the next corner. That is more important because it will lead us to a straight line. So, and here, although I try not to keep the car too much to the right, we don't have enough time to keep the car a lot to the left here either. So because of that, I'm braking and having my car really on the inside here for the best exit possible. We can use a little bit of this area here, but not too much because the car will bottom out and we can lose a little bit of straight line speed here if we touch it too much. Here you can see that I am really using this area here to widen the amount of track that I'm using, but then I already tried to bring it back so I can brake on a straight line, not necessarily parallel to the white line. Actually, I don't want to be parallel to the white line. As you can see, I'm crossing it to the inside because this is a very long corner and we don't need to prepare the entry so much. We can pretty much use it like a double apex where we try to put the car on the inside from the beginning, then the car goes slightly wide and then we accelerate again towards the inside. Of course, I'm not necessarily doing it a very clear double apex. It's just the sensation that I am actually bringing the car to the inside early. This one is difficult to get a good acceleration because you have to already have your eyes looking as far ahead as possible so you can get back on the throttle when you feel that the car is not going to go off track. And also it's very easy to miss the throttle point here and get back on the throttle a little bit too late. So we need to be aware of when we get back on the throttle here. As you can see, I'm getting slightly probably on the middle of the track. No, not necessarily. Yeah, definitely not on the middle of the track. But as you can see, well, depending on where I'm looking, yeah, it's a little bit after the middle of the corner. And that's where I'm starting to get back on the throttle. Let's see the entire corner this way. So as you can see, far there, I'm using the extra part of the track, then bringing my car to the right and braking towards the inside, towards the middle of the track before I turn in. And then I turn in, I try to face it almost as a double apex, and I get back on the throttle early enough in a way that my car really goes to the outside there without overusing this area because of the same reasons of the corner before. We don't want the car to bottom out here. It's very possible that that happens. This one is easy. We can just go flat out. Just try not to get these curbs. They unsettle the car too much. So as you can see, I'm just going through the white lines and that's perfect. For this one, as you can see, I'm using this green area here. We will get enough track if we put the middle of the car over to the right of the white line. So a little bit of room that I had there. I was just wanting to be safe. And then my braking reference is actually the beginning of the green area. That is the 100 sign here. and I don't want to use this curb because it unsettles the car too much. The car bounces a lot and you can lose the rear getting back on the throttle while that happens. So I prefer to actually use this white line here. You see that even using this white line, the car bounces a little bit here. And then I want to desperately bring my car to the left here. You can touch this white line if you can. It's a little bit difficult to do it all the time. As you can see, I failed to do that, but still I was able to carry a lot of speed. And a little bit of trail braking here. Sometimes you don't need, but with this situation, I felt like a little bit of braking, like 1%, was just to make the front point a little bit, was good. And then getting back on the throttle as early as possible, that in a way that the car pushes itself to the left here. Then going flat out to this next, the hardest corner of the track, I start to brake in between the 150. As you can see, there's a darker area here on the grass, and that's my point, that's my braking reference. So as you can see right here, I'm looking and I'm already starting to brake, but my maximum pressure is really around here where the darkest area of the grass is. And then you can see that I'm braking quite hard here and definitely on a straight line, really waiting the car to stop before I turn. And definitely be careful not to turn in too early here. You want to turn in a way that you just miss this higher curve here. As you can see, I'm pretty close to it. And we want to actually try to bring the car as much as possible to the left after this curve. That's why we need to brake on a real straight line and turn in quite late here with this car, so we can have this good line. And then as you can see, because of that, I'm already able to get back on the throttle quite early here and carry a lot of speed on this exit. So I really try to push the car forward here before the second apex, and then at the second apex, same thing. I want to be really close to the higher curb here, but really be careful because this is a very bumpy area. So as you can see, I'm actually releasing the throttle and really controlling the car with the throttle until the bumps are over, and then I can go back on the throttle. So let's see that again. Throttle, lift, wait the bumps, and then full throttle. In this last corner, we don't want to be too close to the inside because we also have a lot of bumps here. So as you can see, I'm braking quite late and not too hard. I'm braking just enough for the car to start turning. It's a pretty long corner. And then as you can see, I'm not touching this white line. Definitely not touching this white line. It's really bumpy here. And on the exit, even though I'm outside of the white line, I still get a lot of bumps here. As you can see, my car dancing around. So I'm really patient with the throttle until that ends, and then I start getting back to full throttle. So yeah, there you go, 141.523 full tank. So yeah, thank you and see you next week. Bye bye.